have moments in time where you feel like making something but you're not quite sure what to make and you need some type of inspiration, I recommend digging into some art books. Hi, my name is Vanessa and I make art videos about a little bit of this and that, mainly things that pertain to sketchbooks. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. I've collected a lot of art books over the years, and I know that this is one of the backbones to my art production, and I want to share some of my top picks with you today. They provide me with inspiration, they teach me technical skill, understanding composition and design, reference material, help me grow as an artist, and it is a great way to get me motivated when there are times I just don't know what to do. Stick around to the end for a bonus art haul. So these are my books that I use for educational purposes. They help to give me that little extra boost of knowledge and take in more about technique, form, color, and learning from another artist, different ways that they come up with compositions and their techniques. And this one is more for me to actually help teach drawing. This one is great if you want to learn how to render things more realistically, and it has a little bit of everything that you need to do that. Solid book, one of my ultimate favorite books of all time. Very good educationally, things that you need to know as an artist. So if you want to get technical and work on being a little tighter and understanding color and light, this is the book that you need in your collection. Beautiful illustrations, easy to read, and this artist is phenomenal. I have some notes that I took here and there. Goes over some paint and pigments, light fastness, with different media, color pencils, watercolor, markers, pastel pencils, oil, highlighter pens, dyes, fountain pen inks. I mean, there's just so much very good information in here. Limited palettes. Like, if I had to pick my best book for education, it would be this one right here. Into portrait drawing, color zones of the face, more yellow toned, red and blue tone down here. I just can't have enough good things to say about it. It's just phenomenal. This book, Classic Anatomy, is perfect for learning the basics of the form, the human body. If you are into figure drawing, that is. So I just like to have this to reference, and art is a part of my career, so I always have to keep up and have myself well versed on a little bit of everything in terms of drawing and painting. This is a book that was recommended to me by my college professor, my figure drawing professor. So yes, it's a good book with lots of good illustrations. This one is my holy grail when it comes to mixing skin tones. So it has a variety of skin tones for you and shows you how to achieve that. I love this book for the style. I would say that this is somewhat akin to the style that I paint in, and just learning from another artist that is very skilled and kind of picking her brain, so to speak. And she kind of reveals a little bit of everything that she does, technique wise, composition, color, how she sets things up. It's very, very inspirational. When I'm not sure what I want to do, I like to just leaf through this book and just look at the beautiful illustrations to give me some inspiration. It's just, love it. This book is one of the best books in terms of teaching you how to draw and the whole mindset that you need and how to unlock the right side of your brain. And there are some exercises in here that you can do in order to achieve that, and I do that with some of my students. So yeah, it's kind of helping you to grow your skills so that you don't rely on more of your childlike artistic abilities. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If your work looks childlike, maybe that is the aesthetic you're going for, but as far as my job is concerned, I have to teach people how to build skills, so this really helps supplement my teaching. And yeah, highly recommend it if you want to draw more realistically. These are my favorite books, absolute favorite, of what I like to pull out of my shelf when I need to reference something. If I have a vision where I want to, let's say, do butterflies, flowers, mushrooms, birds, I pull these out. I go through them, I flip through them, and get some references from these amazing books. So I have a few from the Smithsonian, and this is their handbooks. There's 3 there. I might have an additional one in my shelf, but those are the 3 I pulled out. This one on mushrooms, very, very nice to give yourself some inspiration and the different types of mushrooms, shapes, colors, textures. I just love it. This is a bigger one by the Smithsonian. It's more of an encyclopedia type of book, and yeah, I've used this one I don't know how many times, but it's very good. Now this book is great if you have a composition outlined and you're not too sure what color scheme you want to use. You just go through here and you can look at the different color schemes or color harmonies that are in here. So that is very helpful. Okay, so this book, I'm sure you've seen this one on the internet, and this one is good for your artistic soul. I say this one will nourish your creative spirit. It's more of a mindset. That idea of mind over matter is so true. Fuel yourself with practices, actions, mindset that keeps you going to counter those life curveballs. And this book has really helped me out. I am currently, where am I? I'm on chapter 5, and it goes by week. So last year I started the first 2 chapters, and then I just stopped. And that's the time that I went through like a creative slump. It's just so many things were going on in life, and work was just taking over. But then I also just, in what time I had, I just had a burnout. I couldn't do much. And so once this new year started to roll in, I dipped back into this book, and I'm telling you, it has helped me. And I know some people, this may not work for you, but for me, it's something that with my personality, this is something I'm hungry for and that interests me. So yeah, it's a course in discovering and recovering your creative self. This is the 30th anniversary edition. Highly recommend. If you are into self-help books and you want something that will kind of push you and get you on your creative path and how to keep you there. So this really is helping me out, and I love it. You guys, I've been so inspired. Here are some short clips from last week and how this book has really inspired me. So I started off my day with my morning pages, and this is where I am. Almost done. And I used these 2 pens to do my journaling. This is a fountain pen by Jin Hao. And I have a brown ink in here. And then this is a dark green gel pen. I'm not sure the brand, but it says Vintage Ink. And after I journaled, I went in and read the rest of chapter 4 in The Artist's Way. I'm really loving this book. I have these affirmation cards. It says Happier Me. Have yet to open, but I have another set at work that I've been using, so I want to go through those first from work. The ones that I have at work, go through those first, and then I will open these. I'm working on mental health and doing everything better for a happier me. So, all right, today is just a day of creating. Let's see what I do. So this was a really good art production day. I really stayed in my studio. I had stayed home all day. Normally it's a day my husband and I go out and just enjoy being together, but he was sick, so we stayed home and he rested, and I just was in my art room experimenting and playing. I feel like this book has really made me be a little bit more free and just play. I've just been enjoying and being more playful with my work. I have my moments where things are tighter and I really need to or want to focus on skill building, because I feel as an artist you're always growing and evolving, and there's always something that you can pick up and learn. But there are moments like this day where I just wanted to play around with my tools and materials that I had, and I just had a blast. Let's take a quick moment and go to my classroom. So this is going to be on the Monday after this day of creating. Out to start my day, getting everything set up. Computer, sketchbook is with me. My personal agenda, my journal, so cute, morning pages. If you know The Artist's Way, morning pages, that's what that's for. And then my work agenda, things that I need to get done. Here's where I typically stand, and I have a bunch of art supplies out here. I do demonstrations here, and then it projects up here. I don't have the projector on, but it projects on that wall. All right, so back to the books. Now these books here are ones that I haven't spent too much time with, although this one I'd say I've spent the most time amongst this stack here. I've kind of dipped in and out of it, but I want to spend more time with it this year, and it just teaches you how to paint more loosely. Although some of these are some tighter paintings, but like something like this. And this one too is very similar. And yeah, I used to follow this artist on Instagram when I used to have an Instagram, but she's super talented, love her work. She does workshops too, I believe. This one I have for educational purposes, and I recently started teaching my students oil painting. Previously, before teaching my AP art class, I never worked with oils with the kids, although that I'm trained in oil. This is a good book to help me to teach it, because it has some wonderful illustrations that I can photograph and just supplement what I show the kids. So that's helpful as an educator. This one is for watercolor, painting light and shadow in watercolor. And so looking at shapes to focus on that in order to develop your composition. And then these two are from the same author, Still Life and Oil Painter's Color Handbook. They got really good reviews on Amazon. full of helpful information. It has a lot on color on this one, so this one is loaded with color, which I'm very fascinated with. I've been so inspired, you guys, and I hope that this inspires you too, that I actually went out and did some artwork out and about on the go and a little bit of shopping, so I'll go ahead and insert that there. So in summary, I would like to highlight the categories that I presented to you with the books. I showed you educational books, and I use those to amp up, level up my skill, inform my practice, and the more you know, the more you grow. So that is the mindset that I have when I think of those educational type of books. The second category is inspiration and pictures for referencing. So I use these for structure, lighting. They assist me to making my visions come to life. So for like color, value, and how can I forget texture too. The third category is going to be good for your artistic soul, and that is where the artist way comes in. I feel like it is to nourish my creative spirit. It's a mindset. The idea of mind over matter is so true. Fuel yourself with practices, actions, your mindset that keep you going to counter all of life's curveballs. After I did some sketching in my moleskin, on my way home, I went to the art store, and you know how that can be very dangerous. And I went to look around and I bought a few things that I will share with you. But it is always a pleasure to walk in my local art store, and it's not a good idea to walk in because you're just gonna buy something. At least that's the way it is for me, you know, walking in, too much temptation. I have to pick something up. You guys, this line of watercolor paintbrushes has been my favorite. I have been really enjoying these, and I had to pick up one. Just got out of Allert's, and I got a few things. I will go back to the house and show you what I got. Oh, you can see a little bit in there. Alright, so I ended up getting 5 watercolors from Daniel Smith, and 3 of them are the Primatech, and 2 of them are not. I also picked up this liner brush in the size 1 from Princeton's Aqua Elite line, and since I love this line of paintbrush so much and I did not have this particular size, I ended up picking this up, so happy with that. And on my way to checkout, my eyes saw this, and do I need it? Nope, but it was cute. Little pin from Stabilo. It's a fine liner. The color drew me to it. There were other colors there, but I picked up this magenta. These are some swatches that I have of some fountain pen inks that I recently picked up. So I'm just gonna swatch this here, but it's just a pretty little pink color. So yeah. Can throw that in one of my art bags, and the tip is 0.3. I've already set up my little half pans, and I just took a Sharpie and wrote down the names of them. So the first one I have is the black tourmaline genuine. This one is the hematite genuine. Ooh, this has some major binder separation. I just took a toothpick and mixed it up, and so it's better now. I've been eyeing Tiger's Eye genuine for a while, so I finally picked that up. Some binder separation. I'm gonna mix this up. I got burnt sienna light. I think this is pronounced anthraquinoid red. Alright, so I'm going to clean up this mess here and then we're going to swatch these. Alright, so I have my Etcher watercolor sketchbook. It's in the large size. And I started off with doing something here. I've been doing some snakes recently because it's the year of the snake. And I'm going to do a little swatching on the other side, on the other page with these new colors. I generally don't pick black, but I saw this at Allard's at my art store and I just thought it was really pretty color, pretty shade of black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch these, and at a later time, once this dries, I'm going to do a wet on dry and do like a little design of a snake so it'll match the other side on the right side of my spread. I think I just might finish that snake composition to my right with these paints. We shall see. Definitely will incorporate some of them at least. Maybe with some other Daniel Smith watercolors. I've been really enjoying using this sketchbook I'm working in right now with spreads, just focusing in on color palettes that I have, and for the most part my watercolor palettes that I have, they are by brand. I have a few that are mixed up with just a mashup of a cocktail of various brands of colors I like from each brand. So I've done pages in here where it's just a Gallo or Daniel Smith, Roman Schmal. So that's been fun. Definitely not opposed to mixing brands when painting a composition, but for right now I've been enjoying doing that method. These are looking really pretty as they start to dry. Ooh, that one's very vibrant. I think I put a little bit too much pigment on here, but that's okay. I'm gonna lift some. Lift this paper towel. Get a nice little texture. There we go. Now I'm going to do something a little fun. I've been really enjoying these paintbrushes by Christy Rice. This is from her line of products that she sells. And so she sells these paintbrushes, and this one is in a dagger brush, a size 3 1/4. And it says, "It's just paint." So I'm just going to dip in some water. I want to use this just to get a fun shape. And then I'm just gonna dip in some of these colors into the water. Just let them bleed and watch them move. And then once this is dry, I'm gonna paint a little wet on dry design on there. And I want it to go with like an organic curvy line, like a snake. So it resembles a snake to go along with my theme. Extend this water just a little bit. Oh, burnt sienna is moving. It's okay. And then in the binding, it's going to migrate down this way, but that's just fine. Let this be a little loose. Bring this up over here. All right, so then I've got this swatched. I can see what I just purchased. I should date this at some point. And then I can go back to it later and add to the space that I have here. Let me write the date. Alright guys, that wraps up my video. I hope that you found this helpful, entertaining, enjoyable, all of the above. And I'll be back in 2 weeks with my watercolor using Holbein and my precious sketchbook that I've neglected. Have a wonderful and creative day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.